Well, hello, church. It's Pastor Jeremy coming to you from the parsonage with another daily devotion. Today we continue our tour of the stained glass windows at the Street United Methodist Church as we learn about the life of the apostle named Philip. Now, in the Gospels, Philip is one of the more prominent disciples, especially in the Gospel of John. In the very first chapter of John's Gospel, we discover that Philip is already working as an evangelist. He invites his friend Nathanael to come and meet Jesus. Now, Philip also plays a role in the story of the feeding of the crowds. In John chapter 6, the story goes like this. Jesus went up the mountain and sat down there with his disciples. When he looked up and saw a large crowd coming toward him, Jesus said to Philip, "Where are we to buy bread for these people to eat?" He said this to test Philip, for he himself knew what he was going to do. Now we can only guess why Jesus singles out Philip for this particular test. It might be that among the disciples, Philip had the assignment of finding food and making sure that the disciples had enough to eat. Or maybe there was something in Philip's personality that Jesus was poking at here. Philip seems to have been a very literal-minded disciple. He has a hard time believing in things he cannot see. When Jesus asks him where they can find some food for this crowd, Philip does some quick math and gives the kind of answer an accountant would give. 6 months' wages would not buy enough bread for each of them to get a little, he says. Philip is then astonished when Jesus manages to feed the entire crowd with just a little bit of bread. Now, Philip's literal-mindedness shows up again when Jesus sits down at the table to eat one last supper with his disciples. In John chapter 14, Jesus tells the disciples that he is going to be leaving them. But he comforts them by telling them that his Father is watching over them. Philip immediately responds, "Lord, show us the Father, and we will be satisfied." Jesus answers, "Have I been with you all this time, Philip, and you still do not know me? Whoever has seen me has seen the Father. Do you not believe that I am in the Father, and the Father is in me?" In the bottom of Philip's window, we see a carpenter's square. Now, this is a strange thing to find in a window of the Apostle Philip, who was a fisherman, not a builder. The square is there to remind us that Philip helped to build the Christian faith. With his questions at the Last Supper, he gave Jesus an opportunity to unfold the mystery of the Holy Trinity. In the bottom of the window, we see what is called a budded cross. Each branch of the cross has 3 round buds. A budded cross represents not only the death and resurrection of Jesus, but also the mystery of the Holy Trinity. The Christian belief that God is Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, that the Father is in the Son, and the Son is in the Father, and if you have seen Jesus, then you have seen the one who made all that exists. High up in the window, we see 2 loaves, a reminder that beyond what we can see, there are mysteries and powers far beyond our understanding. I hope that when you look at the window of Philip, you will remember that we can build the Christian faith by bringing our questions to Jesus. When we ask our questions, when we have enough humility to reveal how little we understand, we give God the opportunity to fill our lives with mysteries and miracles. I hope that you will never be afraid to bring your questions to God, or too proud to ask your questions in front of other disciples. Would you pray with me? God of mysteries and wonders, you have revealed yourself to us in Jesus. Give us humble and curious hearts, that we might marvel at Jesus as Philip did. Through Christ who is in you. Amen. Well, thank you for spending some time with us today. You can find a new devotion here each day right at noon. Until we meet again, keep washing your hands, keep wearing your mask, and do not be afraid.